All right, let's dive into what's happening in college sports right now because it is an absolute gold rush. We're talking about a chaotic, high stakes new frontier where fortunes are being made overnight, the rules are basically being written on the fly, and the whole idea of amateur sports, well, it's being completely redefined as we speak. To put it really simply, the old system is just gone. We have officially entered a new era for college sports, and it's all about a massive wave of cash. You've got athletes, schools, major corporations, everyone scrambling to figure out the rules to a brand new and very, very high stakes game. And honestly, nothing captures this revolution quite like this quote from the Arkansas athletics director. He's not talking about some small-time endorsement for one star player. No, he's talking about a groundbreaking corporate deal that represents a seismic shift, funneling money into an entire athletic department. So let's take a closer look at how these partnerships actually work. Because we've blown past the days of simple social media posts for individual athletes. We are now in an era of complex university-wide sponsorships that are changing absolutely everything. Okay, check out this deal between the University of Arkansas and Tyson Foods. This isn't just for the football team. It is a 5-year agreement that puts the Tyson logo on the jerseys of all 19 sports at the school. But here's the real game changer. Roughly 90% of that money is specifically designed to go directly to the athletes through NIL deals. This is the new model. And you have to understand, the Arkansas deal is not an outlier. Not at all. It's actually part of a really clear pattern that's emerging all across the country as schools get more and more creative about how to channel that big sponsorship money straight to their athletes. And you can see this trend building everywhere you look. I mean, LSU just signed a 7-year deal with Woodside Energy. UNLV locked in a 5-year deal with Accesso Biologics. See? This isn't some fluke. It's a fundamental, systemic shift in the entire business of college sports. But just as this wild west of money started to really boom, a new sheriff rode into town. A brand new regulatory body was created to try and bring some order to the chaos. And as you can probably guess, that effort to impose rules has created a whole new layer of conflict. So that new sheriff is the College Sports Commission, or the CSC. Its job is to review and approve third-party NIL deals through its system, which is called NIL Go. The whole goal is to create a fair, transparent marketplace. But, well, it hasn't exactly been that simple. Now, just look at this number for a second. 63%. What do you think that represents in this new NIL world? It's a figure that really gets to the very heart of all the tension we're seeing right now. And here's your answer. The CEO of the CSC says we are seeing a manufactured market. That 63%? That is the chunk of recent NIL deals that aren't just organic endorsements from independent brands. No, these are deals directly tied to a school's sponsors and companies run by its wealthy boosters. And that is exactly what the CSC was designed to scrutinize. And this chart really shows you the result of that scrutiny. In just 2 months, the CSC's clearinghouse approved over $39 million in deals. That's a lot. But look at that second bar. It also held up or outright rejected over $14 million worth. That is a huge amount of money, and you can bet it's creating a lot of friction in the system. As you can imagine, when that kind of money is on the line, people don't just shrug their shoulders and walk away. And that brings us to the next phase of our story, the inevitable legal fightback from the athletes themselves. The first major challenge is coming from a group of 18 Nebraska football players. They had deals all lined up with Playfly, which is the university's own media rights partner, worth over $1 million combined. But the CSC stepped in and rejected them, setting up a massive direct confrontation. So what happens next? Well, the players have kicked off an arbitration process. And here's basically how it works. It's designed to be a pretty quick 45-day procedure where a neutral third party hears both sides and then makes a ruling. This isn't just about Nebraska. This is the very first real test case for the CSU's authority. Okay, so this brings us to the biggest question of all. You've got schools making huge deals, a regulator trying to control the money, and players suing that regulator. With all this chaos, everyone is looking for a final authority. And they're looking to Washington, D.C. I mean, when you're in this tangled mess of different state laws, conference rules, and CSC regulations, the most important question is this: who gets the final say? Who can actually create a single national rule book that everybody has to play by? Greg Sankey, the commissioner of the incredibly powerful SEC, has a very clear answer. He's been one of the loudest voices out there saying that the only way to solve this whole mess is for the federal government to step in and create one national standard. And the main proposal for doing that is a bill called the SCORE Act. It aims to create those national standards people like Sankey are demanding, but it would also do two other really critical things. First, it would give the NCAA and the CSE protection from antitrust lawsuits. And second, it would clearly state that student athletes are not employees of their universities, and that point has massive financial implications. And that leaves us with the ultimate question for the future. Is Congress actually going to step in and create a unified system? Or will all the constant legal challenges and the power plays between conferences cause the entire structure of college sports as we know it to just fracture and break apart? The gold rush is definitely on, but right now, absolutely nobody knows what the final map is going to look like.